Hello, everyone, and welcome to the navigation webinar coming at you live from Portland, Oregon. My name is Tierney Duncan. I'm product manager of navigation here at Mapbox, where I work very closely with our mobile navigation SDK teams. First off, thank you so much for joining us. Happy to have you aboard. We're going to take you through some of our greatest hits today, make it worth your time. Very eager to show you what's moving in navigation thanks to the hard work of our customers and our engineers. I'm excited to showcase a sliver of the insane amount of creativity being sent out into the world by our customers. They're creating amazing products on top of our APIs and our SDKs. They're growing us and our product in extraordinary ways, collaborating with us to revolutionize the journey on the ground and on device. Jay is going to get us started, but I'll see you all here in about 20 minutes.
Great. Thanks, Tierney. My name is Jay Cox-Chapman. I'm a product manager here at Mapbox. I work closely with Tierney to lead our navigation products. So we're really excited to tell you, as she said, about some of the things that we've been working on this year and kind of new things that are coming to navigation in 2019. I'm going to hop over to our presentation here and show you some of the things that we've been working on. Great. So there's the two of us. And so what we're going to talk about today is how we can put you in the driver's seat. There are going to be a lot of navigation puns today to design customized and capable navigation experiences. Mapbox is all about customized maps, customized search parameters, and of course, customized navigation. So what is Mapbox? Mapbox is a location services platform. We provide developers with the building blocks to put location in. Oh, I need to share my screen. 1 second. Missed a key step here. Great, that should be better. There's the two of us. This is what we're going to talk about today, putting you all in the driver's seat to design customized navigation experiences. And so what we're going to talk about today is, first of all, what is Mapbox? Mapbox is a location services platform that provides developers with the building blocks to put location into their software. So we broadly split our teams across maps, search, and navigation. And of course, we like to joke that navigation is the hardest because you need to layer in navigation routing on top of both maps and search. So what are we going to talk about today? First, what is navigation? Broadly, we help people and things get from A to B. And technologically, that's across routing engines, turn-by-turn mobile SDKs, all built on top of the living map that Mapbox builds and responds to real-time data. In terms of our routing offering, we offer 5 routing APIs, turn-by-turn directions, map matching, a matrix API, optimization, and a new API, the Isochrone. So we'll walk through each of those specifically. On the mobile side, and Tierney will cover this a bit more broadly later, we offer SDKs for iOS, Android, Qt, and then we've just recently added offline support for both iOS and Android. So we talk about a live map. What do we talk about? We're looking at anonymized, aggregated information from millions of devices worldwide. That includes things like traffic devices, traffic data, and then increasingly vision data coming from cell phones operating on the edge, looking at the world, doing segmentation in real time. So what we're building is a map that responds directly to your users and creates ever better data as we move forward. So let's talk about some of our routing offerings. First of all, traffic is absolutely critical to how we think about how we can get value out of routing. If you look at the top graph, we would give you an estimated time of arrival that didn't change throughout the day if we had no traffic data. But once we layer in traffic data, as anyone who has ever been in a traffic jam knows, that ETA can be dynamic throughout the day. Here's a view of what it looks like to drive from Oakland to San Francisco. And so you can see how that varies enormously from about 10 minutes all the way up to about 30 minutes. The traffic is a key thing that allows you and your users to arrive on time and in a kind of predictable and accurate fashion. Something we launched this year that we're really excited about are incidents. We now ingest live incidents from all over the world that will close roads and prevent our routes from going down those roads. So we have real-time incident coverage in the US, Canada, and Mexico. And we're covering things that include, accidents, construction, weather, all these emergent things that are happening out there in the road network that are, critical to understand in real time. So who uses Mapbox navigation? We love working with our customers. I'm blown away every week by sort of what people are doing with our tools and our tech. Some folks that I've really enjoyed working with are Doordash, who are using Mapbox directions to give their customers peace of mind on where their order is and how long it'll be there. So they're using our directions APIs and our traffic ETAs to help customers understand where their order is. Another really cool use case is a company called Klaxit in France. It's a ride-hailing app that's using Mapbox maps and navigation to join carpoolers as they're moving through Europe. So that's we're all over the world powering a wide diversity of use cases, from dispatch to ride-hailing to a number of other things. So our sort of solid bread and butter API is our directions API, which gives you turn-by-turn directions between 2 points. This is a route from Boston to Hanover, New Hampshire, which is a place that I love. And it's also what powers our turn-by-turn directions. So it's an extremely capable API that has our traffic data inside of it, has a lot of annotation parameters that you can use to query attributes about the road network, and can provide that turn-by-turn guidance that we end up putting into mobile phones. Something that's pretty cool that we launched this year is something we call the approaches parameter, which is you can specify which side of the street that you wish to approach your point on. So if you're, say, a ride-hailing car, it's really important sometimes that you arrive at your rider in a way that is smooth and it doesn't have you make a U-turn or anything like that. So you can see the difference here. This is right by the 930 Club in DC, not too far from Mapbox's offices. And on the left-hand side, you can see how the route approaches from the other side of the street, which is sometimes fine. Perhaps it's a faster route. We're sort of trying to always figure out what the fastest route is. But perhaps there's a reason that you want to have that that passenger side facing the user as you pull up. So if you, by setting the approach side to say curb, you can force that route up and over the block and to approach the user kind of in a smooth way to ensure smooth pickup in the kind of most efficient way. Another one of our APIs that is very capable is our map matching API. This can take noisy GPS traces or asset paths and snap them to the road network. So GPS is amazing and something we rely on all the time as a location company, but it's not infallible. And so map matching takes that and gives you a nice clean line against the road network. The Matrix API, a little bit harder to show on a map, but it essentially takes a grid of destinations. So from points A, B, and C, and to points A, B, and C, we give you a grid of estimated times of arrival. So that is a really helpful feature if you're doing dispatching or inside of any kind of optimization algorithm. We can use our traffic data kind of in bulk to provide sort of input to those models. It also provides distances. The optimization API is sort of our take on an optimization solver. It relies on our, we use kind of matrix technology, but then offer an optimization API, which gives you points, it orders the points that you might want to make a trip in. So if you're doing a series of deliveries, you can put those points into the optimization API and have it will return a kind of optimized route. Every summer, you've probably seen folks who put up, here's the fastest way to visit every national park in America. That's a way of solving what we call the traveling salesman problem, which is also what our API solves. The navigation SDKs, Tierney will dig in quite a bit more to some of the cool work that's happening there later, but we offer SDKs on iOS and Android. And that allows you to take all of Mapbox's technology from the maps, traffic, route lines, direct turn-by-turn directions, and roll that all up into a mobile experience that is really pretty compelling for your users. Something we're really excited about is a new API that is an Isochrone. And an Isochrone gives you polygons of equal travel times surrounding a point. In other words, if I traveled 8 minutes in any direction, how far could I get? And this is a view of Boulder, Colorado. And I really love this because it shows how the mountains actually constrain that that travel time. So you can see how that 15-minute Isochrone kind of wiggles its way up the canyon there, makes that area reachable. It's really great for analysis, kind of business intelligence and visualization. You can look at things like potential sites for logistics depots or factories, and think about commute times, for users who are looking at real estate purchases or things like that. So now onto the new stuff. This is the kind of really exciting piece my team has been really, really hard at work on. We are launching an expansion of our Matrix API. So the Matrix is really great, but wouldn't it be better if it was bigger? So we're calling it the Large Predictive Matrix, a nice descriptive name. And what we're doing is opening up the number of coordinates that you can call to 1,000 by 1,000. And that means that you can call 1 million ETAs in a single API call. It's pretty amazing. And we're also opening it up to predictive traffic. So you can specify, I'd like this matrix at this time. And so that can sort of look, if you're looking ahead, you're doing logistics planning for the future, you can do that optimization, say, 18 hours in advance with traffic conditions kind of at that moment. And something that's even more amazing is that you can do all of that in under 5 seconds. So we will return a ton of data to you very, very quickly. And it's a pretty powerful new tool. We're also testing truck routing right now. We have a beta endpoint that we are working with customers on to evaluate and work together on. This is something that we find is pretty exciting, that will respect truck restrictions in the map. And that allows you to kind of do things like load boards, where you're sort of creating a marketplace for shippers and drivers. And also, of course, turn by turn and mobile apps for truck routing. So this is in limited beta, but we're eager to talk to customers about it, hear your use case, hear kind of how we can build this in a way that is going to be really, really useful for you. Another thing that we're working on right now is posted speed limits. This is a really critical feature for kind of understanding whether drivers are in compliance, whether they're driving safely. And so we're adding the ability to query our map matching and directions APIs for posted speed limits. So that really gives you kind of 2 use cases that are really helpful, which is the first is giving drivers a heads up on the current posted speed, and then ensuring safe driving in your fleet. So as the driver is moving through the world, we can say, hey, right now the speed limit is 50 miles an hour. And then if you have a set of traces, say, from your fleet, you can sort of say, let's make sure that these drivers were obeying speed limits as they move through the world, which can reduce liability and cost. Fantastic. So that's been the a kind of whirlwind tour of routing. We're just really excited. We love kind of talking to our customers and working with customers. I love getting the engineering team kind of working directly with customers as we think about those kind of developer products. And so, yeah, lots of exciting things coming out. And I'm going to turn it over to Tierney now to talk to our turn by turn.
Thank you, Jay. So I'm going to cover what turn by turn is before diving into some compelling ways our Nav SDK customers are using us, like navigating on roads, winding through the French Alps, displaying navigation on the dashboard of your car or your motorcycle, and going offline in the woods. So what is the Nav SDK? The Mapbox navigation SDKs for iOS and Android give developers tools to add turn-by-turn navigation inside their apps. With the Mapbox Nav SDK, drivers are engaged 100% during navigation instead of being pushed out to a third-party navigation application. It can be used in combination with our various routing APIs to enable you to build a complete range of products. The Nav SDK is highly customizable and allows developers to create a fully on-brand experience. In a rush, don't sweat it. We offer crisp drop-in defaults that developers can integrate in just a few minutes. So why else is it great? Building your navigation app on top of the Directions API means you're routing users based on real-time traffic conditions. You're routing them around incidents, road construction, closures. You're also generating mode-appropriate routes, so for driving or cycling or walking. Our engineering teams worked really hard this year to deliver a core library that handles client-side on-route, off-route detection and tunnels in a very elegant way. The SDK also provides voice guidance and banner instructions in 23 languages. All of this out of the box on a crisp and beautiful UI. We're also very excited to announce that the Nav for iOS is now supportive of CarPlay, meaning you can project your gorgeous navigation experience from your user's mobile device onto a CarPlay-enabled dash. We're also offering offline routing, but more on that later. So yeah, let's highlight a few of our favorite use cases really quickly. Porsche. So we partnered with Porsche to develop the Roads App, which was released in November. Porsche Roads App lets drivers explore and record scenic tours to share their trips for others to try out. So it's kind of like Strava, but for your luxury car. This was an interesting use case. So the developer team at Porsche wanted to design for a community of drivers that didn't just want the fastest route from A to B. They wanted the most beautiful, the most fun to drive, the route that is recommended by their community. So that's exactly what we did. Using our Nav SDK, the Roads app maps the most epic routes across 5 continents. A few quick examples: driving through the French Alps, the Atomic Rim Ride in Canyonlands National Park, Stelvio Pass in Italy. Drivers can rate and comment on each trip, or can record driving their own favorite route and upload it to share it with other driving aficionados in the community. Porsche uses the Navigation SDK to embed the turn-by-turn for each trip in the app. This gives drivers full control over the trip and allows them to switch seamlessly between navigation and browsing for new drives. So again, the challenge for the developer team was to design for a community of drivers that didn't just want the fastest route from A to B. They wanted something beyond that. And tapping into the flexibility of Mapbox navigation, the Porsche teams were able to design beautiful and challenging routes for utilizing our customizable features. Another really interesting use case, Backseat Driver, or Backseat Navigator. Think of it as a very custom version of our Nav SDK. The app curses you out while you drive and insults you when you make the wrong turn. So being stuck in traffic, no longer boring, maybe just a little insulting. So the creator, Billy King, is notorious for this kind of work. He made What the Forecast. He noticed that outside of Waze, there was no third-party navigation application, and he wanted to disrupt that space. I would say he was pretty successful there. So what he did was play around with our Nav SDK, specifically the voice-guided directions. He said he really enjoyed what he found. The flexibility there means you can do some pretty outlandish things. Billy said that on iOS, he was up and running with a sample app in less than a day. I think he had never developed with Android before, and he found that development with Android was just as easy. As for the future version of this application, Billy's looking forward to giving users the chance to customize the way the maps look with new and updated map styles. Okay, so next one, yeah. Hopper is a Denmark-based turn-by-turn navigation app that alarms drivers of speed cameras along their route. In addition to surfacing speed cameras on the map, Hopper sends users speed cam alarms and surfaces the current speed to help you stay in compliance, especially when driving by those cameras. Now onto some features that we released this year, CarPlay. So CarPlay was really, really big for our team. This was a part of Apple's iOS 12 release, which unlocked infotainment screens of 40 million CarPlay-enabled vehicles across 50 brands for third-party applications. So by 2023, we're looking at 240 million CarPlay-enabled vehicles on the road, and we're seeing an immense amount of signal here. Our customers told us that CarPlay is on the rise, and for several of them, it's their most requested feature. As of September, CarPlay is supported by default in our Navigation SDK, meaning any app using our SDK can begin building a CarPlay-enabled navigation app today. So if you're interested in CarPlay, in order to make your navigation app street legal, you'll need to first obtain an entitlement from Apple, build, and then your users can connect directly to the dashboard of all CarPlay-enabled cars. Pair these large touch-enabled screens with real-time traffic, daytime, nighttime optimized styles, turn-by-turn navigation in 23 languages, and customized instructions. This year, we also released offline. So Mapbox offline navigation provides routing functionality from the Navigation SDK in non-connected environments. In areas of no cellular connectivity or on a device with no SIM card, users can use turn-by-turn navigation. Offline routing gives customers the ability to request a new route or be rerouted in disconnected or semi-connected environments. It's perfect for all kinds of applications, especially those that encourage their users to get outside and explore. So when Hammerhead, the creators of cutting-edge bicycle computer Karoo, saw our beta announcement in January, they jumped at the chance to implement offline routing. Starting next year, offline routing in Karoo will allow cyclists of all levels to enjoy long road biking journeys and explore mountain biking trails, all without needing to stay connected. So how does offline routing work? Offline routing moves the routing engine and the routing data from the server onto a user's device, meaning there's no need to make API calls for routing information. Offline routing complements our turn-by-turn SDKs, so users can expect the same well-designed Mapbox experience. And just a quick note on the Vision SDK and our live map, living maps, intelligent navigation, augmented reality, and high-performance computer vision combine to provide a revolutionary viewport into what's ahead. So what does the Vision SDK do? Augmented reality navigation with turn-by-turn directions, classification and display of regulatory warning signs, object detection for vehicles, pedestrians, road signs, and traffic lights, semantic segmentation of the roadway into 12 different classes, distance detection that indicates spacing to the vehicle in front of you, lane detection that indicates home lane, total number of lanes, and direction of travel. If you're interested in getting started with the Vision SDK, just go to our landing page and you can apply for access there. So that concludes my portion of the webinar. I'm going to kick it back to Jay. If you have any questions about our Nav SDK or any of our Nav products, feel free to send me an email. Thanks so much, everyone, for taking the time. Here you go, Jay.
Fantastic. Thanks, Tierney. Yeah, so hopefully that gives you an idea of what we've been working on. Our teams have been working really hard, and it's just been a really fun time to kind of be working together to solve customer problems and launch a bunch of features. So we're having a ton of fun. We sort of really love this space and love working with folks. So please do feel free to email us to get in touch with what you're building. We'd love to work together and sort of see how Mapbox navigation can fit into your next app. So thanks very much, and have a great day.